Perfect. First topic that I need to touch on with you, one that you're all familiar with, the C&O MOAs, Contingency and Overflow MOAs. These are critical, especially for contingency. If your PSAP is offline, fiber cut takes you offline, you lose connectivity to the host, or worse event, you get hit by a tornado or whatever, and you have to evacuate your center, you need to have a contingency partner so that your calls can be failed over to that other PSAP and continue to be answered. Routing them to your admin lines does you no good in a contingency situation where you've had to evacuate your PSAP because there's nobody there to answer the admin lines either. So we want to see at least 2 contingency MOAs. One on the same host that you are, that could be a neighbor that touches you. It could be anybody, if you're on the south host, it can be anybody on the south host. But then we also want you to have one on the other host. In case we would lose a host, we want to be able to fail your calls over automatically to somebody on that other host. Don't think that will ever occur, that we'll lose a host. But we want to be prepared for it in case we do. To date, we have 91 MOAs. The majority of the PSAPs that have executed those have executed more than one, so it's not as many as we would like to see for sure. The overflow option, that is entirely up to you. If you want to overflow your calls, if you're getting hit with a surge event, you can't answer all of them and you want those to go to another PSAP, that's up to you. We're not going to require that you do that, but we are going to require that you have the contingency agreements in place. The purpose of the MOA is to make sure that everybody involved understands, number one, that the calls are going to go to that partner PSAP, and number two, what are they going to do with the call once they take it? I mean, that's half of the equation is getting the call answered. The other half is how do we get responders to that call for service. So that's the purpose of the MOA. That's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions on the MOAs or any problems that you might have experienced? Chris?
One of the things that we ran into with this was we found that everybody that we partner with has to have the same set of rules.
For the best overflows, that is correct. You have to have the same time frame for those overflows.
You can't partner with folks that want to have different number of rings and that kind of thing.
Right.
Everybody's got to agree to the same.
That is correct. For the best overflow, that is correct. Michelle?
Does geospatial routing change our plans? And specifically, my question would be like Sedgwick County. Instead of Sedgwick County needing to deliver to one PSAP, can we now parse it out by like quarters and if so, is that as quick as that jurisdiction coming online, or do we need to wait?
Well, it will be possible based on your PSAP boundaries within your GIS data to parse that out. Where a call comes out of this quarter, it can go to that PSAP. If it comes out of this quarter, it can go to that PSAP. But that's going to take some changes to the GIS data in order to make that work. I think at this point, we're looking at just moving forward with the data just as it is and getting everybody on, and then we'll go back for those jurisdictions that might want to split up and kind of take that as a separate project, because that's going to be a little bit involved. Raymond?
These hosted boundaries, where do I find those at? Where's the boundary lines? The different host sites? There's just 2 hosts, right?
Yeah, it's the ladder line. So Anything north of the ladder line is on the north host, anything south of the ladder line, so that dividing line between 785 and 620. Anything north is on the Topeka host, anything south is on the Wichita
Well,
host.
that's too simple.
Scott, if, let's say Sedgwick County wanted to partner with us, and we've got rules set up with Augusta, and they wanted different rules, could we change so that everything matches? Is that gonna be problematic? Would I have to restart that whole process with Augusta?
No, that's one of the beauties of ESINet. Everything is very fluid. If you need to make a change, we can get that done in a matter of an hour or two. So anything could be changed. Pardon?
That doesn't apply to contingency, right? The rules thing, it's only
Right,
overflow,
it's
not
overflow.
contingency.
Yeah. And if Sedgwick County would say, we want to overflow our calls after 3 rings, they could set that as their overflow rule in ESINet, not create a VESTA overflow, just allow the ESINet to do it, and then they don't have to match up. Every PSAP can have their own time, as long as you don't create a VESTA overflow.
I'm gonna step out more often if that's what we decided.
Okay, anybody else? Angie?
I thought that we were gonna get some buttons on our consoles that kind of alluded to whether or not it was part of the contingency or the overflow, and then we could see when the other agency picked up.
Once, we can't build the best overflows yet, and most everybody that's done an MOA has created a best overflow. We can't do those yet because we don't have enough capacity in the system. Right now, you have a legacy profile, so to speak, built in the system. You have a ESINet in the RFAI configuration that we're currently on, and now you have another profile for geospatial routing, or I3. So with all of the PSAPs that we have with 3 profiles each, we don't have enough capacity in the system to create all of those VESTA overflow queues. So once we get migrated over to I3, then we'll go back, delete out the other 2, the RFAI and the legacy profiles, and then we'll have the capacity to build those overflows, and that's when you'll see those buttons start appearing on your layouts. Okay, anybody else? Good enough.